nzxt is so back, you guys. This is their all-new H6 for 2026. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because they had an H6 case before, which I built in so many times. I loved that case because it was the perfect aesthetic white fish tank case. Today, I've accumulated a bunch of aesthetic white PC components to go in this build. So let's just jump right into it. All right, so this is the brand new H6 from nzxt. This version that I have here is actually the H6 RGB+. Let's go ahead and open this up. So this is my first time actually getting to see this case in person. The top panel just slides off, and then let's go ahead and pop this side panel off. This one just pops out like this. And this is all one piece. So this is one curved piece of tempered glass. Kind of scary to be holding it. So in the previous version of the H6, it was actually two pieces. So there's a front piece of glass and then a side piece of glass. This one is just all connected. So in the new version of the H6, it also comes with an anti-sag bracket just integrated into the case. And they do support back connect motherboards now. So if you prefer the cable-less look, you can use a back connect motherboard with this case. All right, so this back panel is also one full curved panel. So we'll just pop this out. This entire panel here is mesh, and it does have this cool like nzxt logo punch out. It's very subtle, so you can only see it in like certain angles. This entire panel has a bunch of perforations for airflow. So all the screws that you need for your build are in the back of the case, just in the hard drive cage. So this you can easily take out by unscrewing this thumb screw right here and then sliding it up and out. And then this thing of screws was just in here, so I just removed it. I really like it when case manufacturers give you a plastic reusable case for screws because there's so many screws that just end up everywhere. So this is really convenient, and there's little like slots so you can organize them by screw type, and it's just like a nice detail. Let's start doing the build, I guess. Peachy Pup is here to see us. Oh, she's checking out the case. Do you like it? Say hi, YouTube. All right, so the parts for today's build are not cheap, and a large part of it is because they're spending so much on aesthetics. I didn't feel like it really made sense to go with some low spec, but I'll put a couple different options down in the description below that will fit within different budgets. For my build, I have the 9850 X3D from AMD, and then I have this B850 Aorus Elite Wi-Fi Ice. Say that 3 times fast. But this is a all-white motherboard from Gigabyte. This is actually my first time using this specific board. The reason I picked it is because even the RAM slots are white. So I think it's gonna look really nice in this case. Wow, it's so pretty, oh my gosh. So the PCB is white and then the heat sinks are silver, which is gonna match so perfectly with the case. And it also has a toolless SSD installation, which you already know that I love. And for the SSD, I have this Kingston Renegade Fury G5 SSD. This is a Gen 5 SSD, so it is a little pricey. For 1 terabyte, it's currently retailing for like $300, but you could definitely go with a Gen 4 SSD here, which would be around $130, and I'll link some options down below. And for the RAM, today we're using this Patriot Viper 32 gigabyte kit. Also, you guys, this video is sponsored, but all of the thoughts expressed in this video are my own. I really am super thankful to nzxt for including me in this and letting me check out the new case, because you guys, if you look at my YouTube page, all of my earliest bangers were using nzxt cases, and I still get comments on that old H6 video daily. So I am super excited to create an updated tutorial. Now it's time for the SSD. All right, so to open up this slot, we just pull this part up and we can remove that heatsink. So this is the only Gen 5 slot on this board. Should hear it click. And then that just locks in. You don't need a screw or anything. This blue one is the top one, so we'll peel that off. These little prongs go into the top and bottom SSD slots kind of. So we'll just go ahead and align that, and then you should be able to just push it down after. So now that we have the motherboard all set up, we need to unbox the AIO so we can put the bracket on the motherboard, because it'll be super hard to do once everything is in the case. The AIO we're using today is the nzxt Kraken Elite 360mm. Since we have an AMD build today, we need this AMD accessories bag. Then we need to unscrew the 4 screws holding the standard bracket onto the motherboard in order to remove that. Once that's uninstalled, you can screw in the standoffs. This accessories bag will have the 4 standoffs plus the AMD bracket for the AIO that we'll need later. The 4 standoffs have a thicker and skinnier side, so the thicker side goes down to screw into the motherboard. And the power supply for today's build that I'm using is the Corsair RM750X Shift, which is currently going for $75, which I think is pretty good value. I'm using an RTX 5070 for the build, so 750 watts is fine, but if your budget allows for it, I would definitely go for an 850 or 1000 watt power supply for upgradability down the line. Just note that if you're planning to use a GPU that needs 3 8-pin PCIe cables instead of the 12V 2x6 cable, this power supply will not work because it only has 2 of the 8-pin PCIe cables and they don't branch off, so you would need a completely different power supply. So I unboxed my power supply at this stage to plug in those CPU power cables at the top of the motherboard because it's sometimes easier outside of the case, but to be honest, for this case you could go either way. This motherboard has 1 8-pin and 1 4-pin CPU cable, so we'll want to pull apart that second cable to make it 4 pins. Before we throw the motherboard into the case, if you're using a different motherboard than I am, just make sure your I/O shield is installed. Most motherboards have this already installed, but some budget boards might not, in which case you'll need to get it from the box that the motherboard came in. It'll be like a silver rectangle thing, and then install it into your case first by pressing it into the slot. I'm routing my cables through the back connect motherboard channel because I thought it would hide the cables better, but I actually ended up trying it both ways later, and the normal channel up above works just fine as well. Now just line up the silver standoffs on the case with the holes on your motherboard, and once it's aligned, it should pop into place because that middle standoff actually sticks up a little bit further than the others. And now all you have to do once it pops in is to just screw it all in. In that plastic screw organizer that came in the case, there are a bunch of bags of screws, so we'll want the one that says 6, 32, 5mm. It's the top bag and you should just need 8 screws. I ended up dumping them into the screw organizer just to make things easier. This case also comes with an anti-sag bracket built in, so you can just unscrew it slightly to adjust it based on how skinny or thick your GPU is, which is a great touch. Now let's do some quick cable management. Since I do have the RGB Plus version of the case, it comes with an RGB control hub that the pre-installed fans are connected to. I think this is like literally glued into the case. It doesn't seem like a magnet and I couldn't see any screws. Anyways, that connects to your motherboard via an internal USB cable, which will route through the bottom middle of the case. Next, we'll connect the front panel USB and power button cables. The front panel USB headers are usually on the right side of your motherboard, so we'll pass the cables through on the left when you're looking at the back of the case. The front panel audio connector will be passed through on the bottom right, and the power button will be passed through on the bottom left. Now, all of these connectors are usually in the same place on your motherboard, no matter what board you're using, but if you're in doubt, refer to the manual on your specific motherboard. Also keep in mind that for that bigger front panel USB connector, you might need to move it after you move the GPU bracket into place, because for my specific configuration, it does get in the way of moving that GPU sag bracket up and down. Anyways, here's where I plugged in all of my cables, and this new H6 from nzxt has all of these super nice Velcro ties and plenty of space for cable management, which is great. Now for the power supply cables. Both the AIO I'm using plus the fan hub both use a SATA power cable, so I'm grabbing that cable from my power supply box, and we'll also need the 24-pin cable for the motherboard and the 12V 2x6 GPU cable. When you plug these cables in, make sure they click into place and the latch is clicked in. And by the way, we're not at this part of the build yet, but when you do end up plugging it into your power supply, it's way easier to plug it into your power supply before you install the PSU into the case. Anyways, now it's time to install the AIO. The Kraken Elite 360 does come with their previous generation 360mm unified fan, but I did end up switching mine to nzxt's new F360 fan, which was originally installed in the bottom of my case, since my case is the RGB Plus version with pre-installed fans. The new F360 fan has a larger RGB stripe on the side, and I think the silver accent would look super good with the rest of the build. So to install and uninstall the bottom fans, there is a mesh filter. For the 360mm integrated fan, there's just 4 screws in the corner. I'm actually just gonna switch this out. And then for this Kraken AIO, if I was installing the tubes on the left and I was using the regular core fan that it came with, this is what it would look like. So this cable would go towards the tube side. But I don't like this side, so I'm actually gonna use, this was originally in the bottom of my 360 Plus case. Still exhausting, so I'm gonna screw it in. And now, before I go ahead and install it, I'm gonna plug this into here. Great, make sure it clicks in. Oh my gosh, it's like you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. I have the AIO and I'm going to install it now. I don't know how to best show this to you guys, but we're gonna drop it in here and then try to align it. Before I screw anything in though, I'm gonna try to organize the cables a bit. Okay, this cable, I never know what to do with it. This is the pump. So this is gonna go on There's a CPU opt header right up here on the motherboard, and then the rest of these cables need to just go into the back. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna screw in some screws so that it holds the radiator into the case. All right, so to do that, we're gonna use these 12 washers and 12 short screws. All right, so for each screw, we're gonna put a washer. They come in the same bag, so just put a washer right on the screw, and then we're gonna screw it in. All right, so I usually don't do 12 of these. I usually do just like 6. They give you 12 and there's 12 holes, but I feel like that's overkill. But I mean, if you want to feel more secure, but that's just how many I do. Okay, so I don't know if I have a good way of really showing you guys this, but the bracket that comes pre-installed on here is for Intel. And there is thermal paste that's already pre-applied, but the Intel retention bracket will not work for AMD. So we're just gonna pull this off. It's not screwed in or anything. You literally just like yank it out. So yank it away from this tube and away from this side. It's not this way, if that makes sense. This AMD retention bracket is what came in the box for the AIO. So then we're just gonna shove this in the same way we pulled the other one out. So just like this, it should click in. Stick it in just like that. And we're basically ready to install this. I'm putting the tubes facing down. There are 4 nuts in this packet labeled thumb screws and nuts. These are the thumb screws, but this is the same bag that came with the screws for the fans onto the radiator. So we're gonna go ahead and screw this on. We're not gonna screw them in like all the way tight. We're gonna go in an X pattern and then just do like a little bit at a time. That way there's even tension applied on the cooler to the CPU. So just do it a little bit at a time, like top right to bottom left, and then bottom left to top right. And then just keep repeating that pattern until it's like tight. And then give it like a wiggle. That seems secure. All right, now for some more cable management, and then we'll install the GPU. I personally normally prefer to mount my AIOs with the tubes on the right side, but with this cable design, if you mount it this way in this case, it's pretty much impossible to hide that giant third leg cable. So for reference, here's what it would look like if you mounted it on the right side, which is how I had it originally. I ended up changing mine to hide that cable better, which means you'll also need to turn that 360mm fan to hide the cable coming off of it on the other side, but still have the fan be exhausting air through the top. So don't like flip the fan, just like turn it 180 degrees, I think. Okay, yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. It just looks so much cleaner now that there's no ugliness here. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to uninstall this fan. There's just 4 screws right here. Now here are all of the different variations of the 360mm fans next to each other, from the previous generation to the F360 base and the F360 Ultra, so you can see what they look like. Like I mentioned before, the H6 RGB Plus case comes with the 2 F360 fans pre-installed on the bottom and side, which are both set to intake, and then they do have that one 120mm fan on the back set to exhaust, which leaves the top open for a 360mm AIO set to exhaust. Now, if you do have separate fans you want to install, that's where you need to go into this accessory box. And here they have these little have a little bag of brackets. So if you have 3 120mm fans, like individual fans that you want to install like 1, 2, 3, but on the other side, you need to get these little brackets out, and then you actually have to screw them on. So this one will say right because it's supposed to go on the right. There's an R. So that means you put this here, and then you have to screw it in. The screws are also in this bag. So then you screw this in, and then your fan would screw into this, which is a little interesting. I get that they want it to be cleaner for their own proprietary fans, but it's just like one extra step you have to take. All right, let's go ahead and screw these in. I'm just gonna use the screws that it came with, which also come in that container. It's these like longer fan screws. And then yeah, just screw in the 4 corners and you're good. All right, so since I'm now exhausting from the side, that means in the back I have to intake. So I'm flipping this to the ugly side, and then I want the cable to go this way. So I'm actually gonna just leave this here and pull the cable. There's a hole in the top that you can route it through. Yeah, it's way easier to do this before the AIO is installed, but actually it's not too bad. There's still like a good amount of space, but I also have really small hands. Also, this fan is interesting because you really can just mount it like, oh, I guess if you mount it too high, that's where the AIO tubes get in the way since we mounted that this way. So just mount it anywhere here, and then you can kind of see where they originally had the holes. So I'm just gonna screw it in these same parts. Oh yeah, also in each of these F360 Ultra boxes, it comes with this adapter cable that allows you to connect the fan using the standard motherboard, fan, and RGB header. So if you don't have an nzxt fan controller, you would connect this to the cable right here. You just plug these two together and then connect this to your motherboard. And then it also comes with some screws. But for this bottom one, we do want it to intake. And then we're gonna have to lay it down to screw it in. And then see those 4 holes in the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just gonna go ahead and screw them in. Ooh. So this dust filter needs to go back on. The part that has these like tabs goes in the bottom. Okay, there it is. All right, so here is that power supply again. I'm gonna go ahead and install it now. It actually comes with a bunch of nice zip ties too. So this is a shift power supply. So the plugs are normally on the opposite side of this. So they're normally here, but it's empty because for dual chamber cases, it's sometimes easier for it to be on the side. So the fan side is out. Just gonna like put this here. So all the power plugs are at the top here. So now we're just gonna go ahead and screw in 4 of the screws. And those are in this nice baggie that came with the power supply, although your case should also come with the screws. Okay, so now we're gonna start plugging things into the top right here. I need to plug in the SATA one first because it's in the back. I just do it into the farthest one because then it's easier access if you need to add stuff later. Let's do the CPU ones now. Make sure it clicks in, and the other one right next to it. All right, and then for the 24 pin, the fatter one goes on the very left. Definitely do this before you screw it in, guys. So here's what the build looks like so far. And we're actually gonna be using this Gigabyte Aero RTX 5070. Actually, funny story, the first time I ordered this off of Amazon, like 2 days ago, they shipped me an empty GPU box. Wait, okay, this box is really light. I ordered a GPU. I think they shipped me an empty box. Wait, they're still processing my refund, but I'm supposed to get refunded in a couple days, and then I just ordered another one, hoping this one is not empty, but it feels heavy. Okay, here she is. Oh my gosh. Aside from the card itself, it comes with this power adapter, which we don't need because it's ugly. These are like a anti-sag support stand, but I don't think I will be installing this, to be honest. Here's that GPU. Sheesh. It's gonna look so good. And here's what the back looks like. It's gonna match that like silver accent on the bottom of the case so well. All right, so to install it, we're gonna go ahead and make sure this is clicked open, which it is, and then take off the cover off the GPU. Can't forget that part. There it is. That is all installed. And of course, it's way easier to do it with your PC laying down. All right, now we're going to screw in the 2 little screws on the side here, 1, 2. And plug it in. There's like a fat part and a skinny part of the clip. The skinny part goes on top. I got this. Yo, with this power supply in this case, the cable is just barely long enough. I think it's okay. Okay, so just to be safe, I actually changed the routing of this cable to go through the side instead of the bottom. So it doesn't look as good here, but it's not too big of a difference. And it gives you like just a lot more slack for that cable. Now I'm just gonna close up all the panels. Here's the final reveal. Oh my gosh. Oh, that GPU looks so good in this case. All my troubles were worth it. The silver looks so good. And here's what the finished build looks like. You can adjust the display on that Kraken AIO to display a GIF, temps, even like a video, or like they have some like Spotify APIs and stuff too. But I ended up having it set to a GIF and my temps. Also, if you're doing a variation of this build yourself, just a reminder that if you want to use a GPU like the 9070 XT, some of them still use the 3 8-pin connectors, so you would need a different power supply than the one I used earlier in this video. Here's an example. So here's what the new H6 looks like with the Yeston Atlantis 9070 XT, which does still utilize the 3 8-pin connectors. And here's what the case looks like with the Asus Prime White 9070 XT, which also uses that triple 8-pin. But I personally feel like the Aero GPU looks the best in this build, just because the white and silver just looks so nice. And I know some people might personally prefer to use an NVIDIA GPU, or some of you guys prefer to use a Radeon. So I'm gonna link a couple different build options down in the description. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful for people wanting to check out the new H6. And let me know down in the comments if it was like confusing to show the different variations, or I don't know what you guys thought of the tutorial. Thank you, and subscribe for more aesthetic PC builds.